Let's cross now live to Alon Pinkas, the former Israeli Consul General in New York and the former foreign policy advisor to Prime Minister Ehud Barak and Prime Minister Shimon, who joins me now from Tel Aviv. Good afternoon to you. Biden says that this could possibly be passed in a separate bill. What exactly does he mean, and how is it possible to pass such a bill?
Well, it can only be possible if enough Republicans join and do this as a bipartisan issue. But you have to understand, the viewers need to understand, there are two levels of analysis here. One that Biden alluded to about this brinkmanship, and that has to do with the Republican Party. But first, there's a structural issue. This is the fourth, well, it was supposed to be, we were on America was on the precipice of a fourth government shutdown in the last decade alone, including a lengthy 35-day shutdown in 2018 and 2019 under Trump. And so there is a structural deficiency in the American system that brings it to this brink that Biden correctly was commiserating about. But then there is something very specific about this, and this relates to your question. The Republican Party, which by and large is what is called in Washington Rhino, Republican in name only, is being held hostage not just by a Trumpist majority, but by a small extremist group within the Trumpist majority that is basically voted Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, is now threatening to remove him, to oust him in a vote, which they can do, by the way, if they muster enough votes. And they have made this in order to, I mean, they couldn't care less about the American economy, the shutdown in the federal government, and the effect this may have on financial markets worldwide, but it was only to damage Biden. Now, as for the separate bill that he was referring to, what some of these Republicans demanded was a complete stop to any aid to Ukraine, or they would concede that aid to Ukraine can continue, provided there's some mass investment in the border with Mexico in terms of the security and stopping flow of illegal immigrants. It could pass as a separate bill. The Senate could pass it, where the Democrats enjoy a slim majority. But who knows? You know, it's a stop-go, what they call. It's going to last for 45 days, and we're going to be on the verge of the same identical crisis 42 days from now.
Is the internal strife in American politics affecting, and the inability to pass this bill for aid for Ukrainians, affecting the view Europeans have of Americans in terms of being a reliable ally, especially when it comes to Russia's war in Ukraine? And does that possibly indicate that support for Kiev may be declining among the West?
No, the support for Kiev is not declining. If you see the German, the Dutch, the British, the French resoluteness, and in Washington too. I mean, the president is 100% behind continued aid to Ukraine, and a majority in both houses of Congress, both the House and the Senate, supports continued support for Ukraine. But you pointed out to a critical point here. There is an anxiety in the world, at least in what is called the free world, that a second Trump presidency, which is a possibility, a second Trump presidency would disband NATO, disband alliances in the Indo-Pacific, disband defense pacts with South Korea and Japan, abrogate international obligations and commitments that the U.S. has. And you know, it's the Make America Great Again, which essentially is America First, which essentially is disengaging from the world, which essentially is that the U.S. is going to lose its, or at least its power to lead that world will be severely diminished. And there is a real fear in the West that this may happen. And you know, the 4 years of the Trump presidency have alerted the world to the fact that you just alluded to, that the U.S. may be less of a dependable leader of the free world than many would like to see.
Alon, Pinkas, the former Israeli Consul General in New York and the former foreign policy advisor to two former Israeli prime ministers, thank you for your meticulous breakdown of the complex policies in the United States.
My pleasure. Thank you.